Welcome back to Colonial Charter Beta 1.6, Episode 7. I am Artbleed, and let's just jump right back in it. Right before the end, right at the end of the last episode, right after the end of the last episode, we ran into a bit of a food crunch. I mean, a major food crunch. So I spent the time between that episode and this episode trying to build back up my food reserves and build back up my people and moving some things around. So, like when we last left, I want to say the food was around 600 units and it dropped all the way down to 0 and stayed at 0 for about 4 game years. So I really had to get some things in gear. I went ahead and put up some more housing around our gatherer's hut and put a third person into the gatherer's hut. We are now at max for food. We have hit 5,000. So I'm going to go ahead and push that limit up. And we're going to start at some point stockpiling food. So my wood forester is producing wood better than the other condensed forester was producing wood. These guys over here are starting to put down iron, so I'm going to go ahead and get them a second person. I really apologize for the skipping in the music. I don't know what that is. It only happens when I record with this game, and as far as I know, it wasn't in the other episodes, but it just started in these latest episodes, which is why I haven't recorded in a while. I was trying to figure out how to stop that, and it's apparently something I can't fix at this time, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. And it's not just the music that's skipping, it's actually the audio, and it seems to be every time I move the camera. It really seems to be camera related, because if I don't move the camera, if I don't scroll the camera in and out, it doesn't have that problem. So anyway, we got our market built finally, so now we have a main place. See, look, now it's doing it without the camera. I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna, I'm just gonna ignore it as if it's not even happening. So we have our market built. I'm gonna go ahead and just put one person in the market. Doesn't need to be any more people than that. We have enough tools that we don't need to continue producing tools, and we do have quite a lot of firewood. So what I'd like to do is get enough sand, or I think it's clay I need, to actually build a stacks burner. So we're going to need some shore houses. And my most recent gameplay, I tend to avoid having shore houses because they really don't produce enough to pull their weight. But they're great for entry level. So, actually, let's collect some more stone before we start building anything. I think we have some stone over here. So, I have 1 laborer, 2 builders, and I think some other individuals. So, I'm going to go ahead and have them come get this stone over here. It's quite a bit. I think there's iron over here too. My mistake. There was no iron. La la la. So, basically what I'm just going to have them do is collect surface resources for right now. And then we're going to go ahead and throw up our shore house, start collecting some clay, get us a stacks burner built. That stacks burner will allow us to make more furnace fuel. And I'm going to go ahead and push up the wood limit because it's going to go up anyway. So I'm going to push the wood limit pretty high here. It's set at 5,000. And we'll leave it there. I thought it was lower than that. But we are at our max for fuel. We did reach the max for, okay, every time. Turn that off. Turn that off. I had those off. People still keep working there. I don't want anybody working there with them working here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just pull those out. Alright, so we've got 4 students in school. We're waiting for them to get out of school. And we have 34 iron so far. I had a bit of an iron ore and furnace fuel stockpile, so I went ahead and put somebody in the forge to produce iron ore and iron, so that I could build things. So I'm going to go ahead and build. Trying to decide, do I want this building here? This is actually my town hall, and I like to have a town hall kind of early because then I can see at a glance what I have. So I kind of don't want it there. I kind of want it. There's a road here. And I am going to be using the old school town hall. I'm going to go ahead and let them build that. Should be getting enough stone coming in that we can go ahead and build that. So we need 48 iron. We're pretty close to that. So I'm not too worried. I'm not too fussed. If things do get bogged down, I will go ahead and release the children out of school and educated. But I'm hoping it won't come to that. So hopefully in this episode, I will be able to start building some dock buildings. Kind of looking forward to that. I've already picked out an area where I'm going to put my trading post. It's actually going to be over here. Since our river comes here, down here where these deer are, I'm going to go ahead and put my trading post here. Now what I want to do is actually hit pause, and I'm going to start laying out some things that I don't necessarily want to build now, but I do want to know where they are. So this is going to be the regular trading post. I'm going to put here, right there. I'll pause that. And then there's a specialized trading post where I can get my livestock from, and I'm going to put that here. You don't really need this permanently unless you want it permanently, because it doesn't get anything for your town except for livestock and seeds. That's literally all it gets. So I'm gonna put that there. So if you want to keep it there, you can, but it's not like it comes with, you know, a little bit of seeds or a little bit of livestock. Usually when it brings the seeds, it brings all of 2 or 3 types of seeds. So you'll get all of the grains and all of maybe the plants that create sugar, or all of the ground vegetables or something like that. So just want to go ahead and put that there. I just want to lay everything out because I want to see things at a glance. So I'm going to try and build, like I said, every building that is available. I'm going to make an extreme effort to do that. So let's look in here. Okay, this is the foundry. That's the forge. This is the foundry. Now this does pretty much the same thing as the forge. It just requires water. Let's see, what else do we want? This is the forge, like I said. It's pretty much the same thing. We've got our blacksmith. We've got our smelter. I don't think I need anything else quite yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them go. Let them build. Yeah. Here I actually have my joiner, and as most of you know, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I used the product of the joiner, which is tables or furniture. I call it tables because it actually looks like little tables, but I use the product of the joiner as a trade medium because it's worth more than firewood or charcoal is. Some players like to use the fuels as a form of trade currency, and you just have to have too much. I'd have to be overproducing fuel. And now with furnace fuel being such an important item because it's required to make iron, which is required to make almost every other second tier building, or not second tier building, every other mid game to late game building, you can't really afford to lean so heavily on your fuel. So if you have a bumper crop of trees, use your joiner, and then once you can start producing other things like glass or, you know, luxuries like tobacco and whatnot, you can go ahead and start using those as trade items. But a good starting trade item, once you get enough iron, it only takes 6 iron to build the building, but it's a good way to have a little bit of trade goods units fairly early game. I'm only in year 22, so, and I could have built it earlier, but you know, it's something where, oh, I need some seeds to feed my people, or I have some tables, or I something else that actually will produce a fair amount of income is stone statues and wooden statues. Wooden statues, I believe, are worth 12, and stone statues are worth a lot more. And there's something where you could be bringing in a decent enough amount of stone that you could use it as a trade medium. So I believe somebody mentioned that in the comments, and now I am mentioning that to you. So now over here I had some coal. I was using these. The main reason why I built these mines was to show them off. I'm not going to be using them any further. I may put some as like decorative. They maybe put one in another part of the map, sort of as an auxiliary material. But I am going to go back to the buildings that grow the materials out of the ground for iron, as well as for stone and for coal. I think for this playthrough I'm not going to use the tree building. Alright, so we're still waiting to have people. Getting a lot of babies born, so I need to start checking the houses to see if they're full up. Let's see, I've got 60 iron. I'm going to go ahead and build this out. I'm going to go ahead and throw down the town hall. The town hall takes the largest amount of iron right now of all the buildings that I want built. So I'm going to go ahead and let them start building on that, because that's going to take a minute to actually get built. I'm hoping to start trading by year 30. That might be a stretch for some people. I know a lot of people like to trade early on. I like to wait till year 20, 30, sometimes 40 before I trade, because I want to make sure that I have done everything possible for my people on, you know, on their own. My town has done everything it could possibly do to survive on its own, and now it needs to extend its reach beyond its borders. So, okay, I don't know. Oh, jeez, what is going on? Let's clean this out. Alright. Let's see if that fixed it. It did! Yay! Alright, so... woohoo! We got a new adult! So, once the town hall is built, think I'm going to build out another house or two. Awesome. Just want to let these guys know this is a priority. So we're waiting on that town hall to go up. Oh, stone is low. What? Let's find some more stone. Although there's actually plenty of stone over here. You guys just aren't grabbing it. There's like so much stone. So hopefully they'll grab this stone. All right. How are we doing? Woohoo! I'm happy. So I have this built now. I can take this and I need to. Let me go into the options. Make this a little smaller. You might not be able to see it as well, but I can have all my options on my screen because I like to keep them all generally in the same spot where I can see them. Oh, there's the problem. I didn't have it maximized. Oh, yes. Alright. So, and this is how I play. I could probably put it at the bottom because it is so wide. Put you there. Put you there. Perfect. Okay. So, I like having the entire inventory of my town at a glance. And now I do. And I have a market that's got stuff going in it. My food is going up. Things are looking up. So now that people are starting to come out of school, I can start building more things. I think what I'm going to do is actually put up another house because I'm starting to get cramped quarters. And cramped quarters is no joke, so that's what we're going to be doing at the end of this episode. In the next episode, we'll be continuing where we left off. I'll probably, hopefully, be able to start with our shore house. And hopefully, I have enough of a stockpile for placement for wood that I can start cutting down some of this stuff. Because I know that there's somewhere in here, they're actually growing iron. I can actually see the iron. If we peek through the trees, you can actually see the iron. So iron ore is going to start coming up. And what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to move this building from over here. Move the forge over here. So the iron ore does not have so far to go. And we're going to tear these guys down for now. I don't think they leave a hole. We're going to find out in a minute. So I'll find out in a minute. You'll find out in the next episode. And I will see you back here for another episode of Colonial Charter 1.6.